Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're kind of tired of just treating AI like some basic chatbot and you are ready to actually build with it, well, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're taking a masterclass to transition you from being a passive user into an empowered AI builder. And don't worry, there are no fancy degrees required here, just your drive to learn. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our mission briefing for today. We're going to cover the AI skill gap, the evolution of artificial intelligence, the art of structured prompting, building a startup with AI, AI agents and automation, and finally, a little concept I like to call the butterfly effect. All right, part one, the AI skill gap. Let's kick things off with a bit of a reality check, because we are living in a high-stakes modern workforce right now. Just knowing that AI exists, that's just not enough to stand out anymore. Get this, despite the endless buzz online and in the news, a staggering 90% of people still don't really know how to unlock AI's true potential. Seriously, 90%. Most folks are just sitting around as what we call 1% users. Using it as a glorified search engine, typing in a basic question here and there, but they aren't actually solving complex problems, or more importantly, building automated solutions. And that brings us to a somewhat harsh but absolutely crucial truth. 2 out of 3 companies literally refuse to hire candidates without AI skills. 2 out of 3. So whether you're trying to pivot careers, grow a business, or you're out there freelancing, mastering AI, it is simply no longer optional. You have got to move past the absolute basics if you want to deliver value that people are actually willing to pay for. Moving on to section 2. The evolution of artificial intelligence. To truly master the tools we have today, we really need to demystify how we actually got here. Just look at how this progressed over the years. Back in the 1990s, we had rule-based AI. Think of your ATMs or basic calculators. Revolutionary at the time, for sure, but super rigid. Then by the 2000s, machine learning arrived on the scene. Machines actually started learning from data patterns. This gave us things like YouTube recommendations and Gmail spam filters, a real game changer. Fast forward to the 2010s, and deep learning and neural networks unlocked completely new capabilities, like face unlock on your phone and early self-driving cars. And that was followed pretty quickly by ML ops, which was all about maintaining those incredibly complex models in a production environment. And this next part brilliantly illustrates what happened right after that, an absolute explosion in technology. Between 2017 and 2022, large language models, or LLMs, changed everything. Instead of just predicting data, AI could suddenly generate brand new text. Then boom, 2023 hits and generative AI is creating images, audio, and even code. As we move through 2024 and 2025, we fully shifted into multimodal AI and the rise of completely autonomous AI agents. Now, a critical distinction we absolutely need to make today is the difference between an LLM and an AI agent, because they are not the same thing. If you ask an LLM to plan a trip to Tokyo, it's going to give you a fantastic text-based itinerary. But an AI agent, it goes way, way further. An agent independently searches the web, compares flight prices, uses a booking tool, and securely purchases that flight on your behalf. To put it simply, an LLM talks, but an agent acts. Which brings us to section 3, the art of structured prompting. Because before we can command these powerful acting agents, we have to know how to communicate with them effectively. Structured prompting is your magic key here. Look, direct prompting, like just typing "write a blog about coffee," is going to yield pretty average generic results. We've all seen it. Instead, you want to use this 5-step framework. First, assign a role. Say, act as a senior content marketer. Second, provide context. We're launching an organic coffee brand for Gen Z. Third, define the exact task. Write a 300-word intro. Fourth, set constraints. Avoid corporate jargon. And finally, step 5, dictate the format. Use each one headers. This super precise structure ensures the AI gives you professional-grade results every single time. All right, let's jump into section 4, building a startup with AI. Let's take all of this knowledge we just covered and apply it to a hands-on case study. We are going to hypothetically build a healthcare startup from scratch using a combination of powerful tools. Here is the secret of top-tier builders. They never, ever rely on just one single tool. It's like a giant puzzle. For our startup, we'd start our market research with Perplexity to source real-time data. Then we feed those links directly into Notebook LM for a really crisp, synthesized summary. When it's time for detailed report generation on patient pain points, we bring in Claude. To turn all that dense data into a beautiful pitch presentation, we fire up Gamma AI. And for a sleek, modern website landing page, we use a UI builder like Lovable. Let's look a little closer at why combining these tools is so vital. Say we have a massive data set of patient feedback. We might actually run it through both Gemini and Claude. Why? Because Gemini is vastly superior at providing incredibly detailed text-based explanations of the insights. But on the flip side, Claude shines at visual presentation. It can instantly generate clear graphical charts showing positive versus negative feedback. Knowing exactly when to use which tool, that is exactly what makes you a builder, not just a user. To put the final pieces of our startup together, we move into product and marketing. We can use Google AI Studio to instantly generate the actual code for our mobile app and a symptom checker. Then Google Labs flawlessly handles image generation for our branding kit. And finally, Meta AI can generate short video highlights for a social media campaign complete with background music. I mean, think about it. What used to take a team of 10 people literally months to accomplish, you've just architected in a matter of hours. Mind-blowing, right? Moving right along to section 5, AI agents and automation. Now that our startup is built, we actually have to run it. And this is where we introduce probably the most powerful capability for a business today, removing manual human bottlenecks using AI automation. Let's walk through a real-world automation using a tool like Zapier. Step 1. We set a trigger in Google Sheets so the system detects the exact second a new patient row is added. Step 2. We set an action in Gmail. Our AI agent then automatically drafts a perfectly formatted email, greeting the patient by their actual name, including a custom booking link, and just sends it. No clicking, no copying, no pasting. The whole shebang runs entirely on its own in the background. Talk about a time saver. And that brings us to our final section, section 6, the butterfly effect. So the crucial point here is, well, we've talked a lot today about technology, tools, workflows, all of that. But truly mastering AI, it requires a very specific philosophical mindset. There's this famous metaphor about watching a butterfly struggle to break out of its cocoon. Imagine a person trying to be helpful comes along and cuts the cocoon open. The butterfly emerges easily, right? But the tragic part is it can never fly. Why? Because the sheer struggle of pushing through that cocoon is exactly what forces fluid into its wings, giving it the strength to actually fly. Learning AI is exactly the same. There are no shortcuts to mastery here. Sitting at your keyboard, experimenting, breaking things, hitting a wall, and trying again, that friction is exactly what builds your capability. And that leaves us with this final vital question for you. Are you going to remain just an AI user, waiting to be rescued by the next easy tool that comes out? Or will you embrace the struggle, become a true builder, and finally fly? The toolkit of the future is sitting right in front of you. It's time to get to work. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today. Keep learning and stay curious.